first one. Well, actually, the first one was the best one.
This one?
That one, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the one when Mills did like I told him to do 25 minutes. This one they're doing almost 40 minutes. Because he ended up like talking in between songs and he would bring people up.
Yeah.
That was also our first show. So we didn't have a lot of experience.
Test.
You know.
Yo. Test.
Because it was also the first one. There was like a lot going on and a lot of people showed. It was July 30th, bro. It was like 109 that day, bro. Fucking like 300 people pulled up in the summer. And the second best one was the one in January that happened recently, 5 months ago. I had 2 Mexican groups. I had Amadeus as a rapper, Giselle Wu and the Night Owls, and then 2 DJs. Okay, so it's 6 artists, but each artist got like a good time to perform. And I don't know, it was just like it was a great.
That's dope though. You know, it's dope to like cater to different audiences. You know what I'm saying? Like
whether it's hip hop or it's rock, indie, whatever it is.
And they're all from the Valley.
Everybody's been from the Valley.
Oh shit! Okay.
This last show we had Gucci Mar and Sammy Love. They came from Santa Ana.
And then we had
Gucci Mar
Santo from Joshua Tree as well, and then Mike Soy. So 2 artists from Joshua Tree.
Oh shit! Yeah, Gucci Mar. That's a girl. I think I seen her on. She's been on the Cypher Effect, huh?
Yeah, I think she was. Yeah,
I think that's where. Because when I had seen her, I'm like Gucci Mar. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing in the Valley? And I'm like, oh shit, she's on a show. Okay. Because I was like, I had seen her through the Cypher Effect and stuff like that. Because I had done a few things with those fools. So I'm always watching I'm updated on their, subscribed to their YouTube. So every time they post something, I try to keep up to people.
Yeah.
So I had seen that name. I was like, okay, cool.
Well, we're still focused like the Valley. Mm-hmm. But then like there's other artists are reaching out too.
Because it looked, dude. Because the visuals look dope. I mean, like in the way it's all set. I mean, it looks like basically a Coachella, like your own Coachella Fest type vibe, like your own like little mini like festival type shit. So I mean, but
then the people too, like people come and have like a good experience. Like we had some of the same people keep coming back. We're also getting new people like that show because it's more Mexican. A lot of people came to that one that haven't came to the other hip hop one. There's a certain crowd that goes to the hip hop one, certain crowd goes to the rock shows. Like but we're all still. We all consume, different styles growing up or whatever, So,
we have been rolling.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I was just going with
it. It's just a natural flow, man.
Hey, sometimes natural flow is the best flow. You know what I'm saying? Just go right into it.
Or jump right into it, bro. I remember. Well, I want to first. I feel like there's no like competition, but like I feel like you're the most established artist in the Valley, at least from that I've seen. Just been working for the last 10 years, like nonstop, and whatever new venture you've been doing. Right now, you're doing the bowling stuff, so I want to get into that too.
I'm doing the bowling stuff, man. So obviously, like you were saying, like
could you tell us the beginning, just like
I could go for the I can lead it.
Let's take it back from the beginning.
So the very beginning. I was 10 years old. I heard my uncle rap. My uncle was rapping. He cuts hair and stuff like that. It's funny because years later he doesn't even rap anymore. But anyways, I heard my uncle rapping when I was like 10 years old, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would hear him rap. He was right, and he wrote me. I couldn't write anything. I couldn't write my own shit. He was rapping. He wrote me a verse, and he's like, rap this. I had been listening to Tupac, obviously all the hip hop stuff. So I got on. I rapped the verse, and then I'm like, I was going around for like maybe like 6-7 months at 10 years old, just rapping that same verse, and then when I was about 12, 13 years old, I was able to try to start writing my own lyrics. I would, come up with my own lines. And at first it just started with like, it was just like super corny stuff. Like I couldn't really put bars together. I couldn't put like crazy wordplay together. It was kind of just taking words, rhyming those words, trying to make cool little like sentences together. Like, yo, it's me, JC, like real basic shit. Right. And, fast forward going into high school at 16 years old, that's when I first got on the mic. And I was with MC Infinite. Shout out to MC Infinite, man. He's from the Valley too. And I met him at La Quinta High School. And he was the first person who ever taught me how to record. So I'm in the studio. I'm putting the headphones on for the first time. I'm hearing myself back for the first time. I'm like, yo, this shit's crazy. What the fuck is that? Like, so I didn't know how to feel about it because I had never done it before. It was like a whole different world to me. So all my life I had been rapping, writing a little bit, but I had never discover what it was like to be a recording artist. So, he took me to a different world. And we did the first song. And at the time, I thought it was fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing it back. I'm excited. I'm like, yo, this is dope. And I'm really hyped up. And so that kind of motivated me to, okay, I want to start doing my own stuff. So then I started, I got a little cheap setup. Cheap. I mean, actually, I wouldn't even call it a setup because I literally had a webcam and I had some program that I got for free off. I don't know what was going on Google looking for.
What year was this?
Oh man, 2010. 2010.
That wouldn't be considered a setup back then.
Maybe. Yeah, he has a good point. That's actually a good point. Thank you. So I had a webcam. Mom's had like a little like room. It was like a closet, but like a computer room type break off in the living room. So I hung a little freaking thing right there, put the webcam, downloaded some cheap program. And honestly, this was MySpace days too. So MySpace was popping. I started just writing little free writes, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like not really like designated topics. I was kind of just playing with my words, boom, putting shit out together. And started dropping a few little of those on MySpace. And then from there, Too Toxic reached out to me because I had just posted like 3 or 4, and I started adding a bunch of random people. You know how we do it, like when we're adding people,
other creatives,
just adding people. I don't even know, but I'm just trying to
more exposure.
Yeah, more exposure. Trying to network, see who's out there, see who's gonna, And he heard my stuff and he reached out. He's like, "Yo, bro, you want to record? Let's work on a song." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down." So I went to his studio, and again, this was barely my second time working with somebody who was like a recording artist. So I went from Infinite the first time, then I did my webcam thing, and then Toxic reached out to me. We worked on a song called Celebrate Life. I still remember that shit. Oh my God, my verse was terrible. And like, it's crazy because like, I'm telling you, like at the time I'm thinking like, oh, this is cool. I'm proud, I'm hyped. But like I go back and hear it and I can hear myself out of pocket. I can hear myself not on the beat. I'm just like, what the fuck? But it's crazy because like in that moment, I wasn't catching any of that. You know what I'm saying? And so anyways, I ended up working with Toxic. He's like, "You know what, bro? You got potential, man." He's like, "You know what? I have an open spot on my label if you want to, work with me and make some music." So I said, yeah. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." You know what I mean? Like this guy had a studio. He had been doing it. I was, fresh to the shit. So I was like, I'm down to jump in. So, I joined Too Toxic Music. And then from there, I started working. We put out my first album called The Zozo. He got me on 92.7 back when Provoke was running the 92.7. And then I, at some point, I kind of branched out, kind of started doing my own thing. Well, I don't know if you remember back in there was a time period where like my music was kind of really like, it had went through a dark phase. You know what I'm saying? It had went through a little dark phase and it had raised a lot of like, tension between the label at the time. And so, I ended up branching off and, just going my own route. And then fast forward to about 2019, that's when I put out the Right Path album. And that was the album that had, Busy Bone, Cassidy, King Lowe's, The Grouch, The Grouch, Zion I, Bizarre from D12, Chino XL, just a bunch of like hip hop people, And so that's kind of like from there, that's when I really felt the next spark of what led to me getting verified on all platforms. And then I started getting more connections. And then I started, going with the flow. And then now I'm just, started my LLC. I have Cryptic Rain Music. I have, artists under my label. I manage a few producers and stuff like that. So now I'm kind of just pushing them. And, it's just that's a quick little timeline. You know what I'm saying? Quick little rundown.
I remember the first time I heard of you, I remember it was in 2012, 11, 12 or 13 in that range. It was at a party at Justino's house.
That's my boy.
it was a kickback right there in North Indio. And then I don't know what it was. And then you were right there freestyling and people were like, "Hey, freestyle." And you were just going off, bro. And I had never been surrounded by like an artist, like that was my first introduction. And then that's when I first like, oh shit, that's crazy. So that was the first time I met you actually.
That's crazy. You took me back. Those were crazy times, man. I remember me, Peanut, Joe, all of us, we were just, because, we'd always be going with Gracie and all of them, you know what I'm saying?
Grace,
So, we'd be at the parties. It's funny because Mills was telling me about this the other day too. He's like, "Dude, I remember 50 Cent would be on and I hear somebody rapping, but it wasn't 50 Cent." Because I look back and you were just flowing over people's shit because we were drunk, we were having a good time and just freestyling, dude. Those are the times, man. And I feel like back then I was really into like ciphering, right? Like I was like, I'd hear a beat and I can still freestyle and shit like that now, but for some reason, like during that time, it's kind of like I was doing it we were partying every weekend, every other day. And like when I'm ciphering, it's more like it's something that I was doing more often when I had people who would do it with me. Because it's like, I'm not going to just sit in the car and just rap to myself all the time. I mean, I do that when I'm writing and rehearsing and doing that. But like, as far as freestyling, like it would be me and a couple homies. We'd chill every other day. So we'd throw a beat on for a few hours and we'd just be freestyling it. Boom, 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 boom. Like in a conversation, right? Like I'd be like talking to him in freestyle and he's talking back to me. Is that me? Oh.
Freestyle right there.
Oh. Damn, that's great. Shout out to Tony G. That was a beat I got from DJ Tony G. But
you have that as your ringtone, bro?
No. That literally before I came here, I was just because I was early, like 30, 40 minutes early, so I just parked across the street. I was writing some bars and yeah, but I was working, so I guess it just, I don't know. But during that time, like we were freestyle, and so like being you know, that these guys want to freestyle, I want to freestyle. We'd be like, let's just kick it. And then we hit parties. And that's kind of how that whole thing, just hitting parties back and forth. Those Fridays and Saturday night, those kickbacks, and then just rapping.
Yeah, it was a kickback era. Those Wiz Khalifa days.
Fun ass times, man. Fun times, man.
So then fast forward. Then
Right.
I remember I saw you at the... No, then I saw in 2019 you were doing the JC photography, which you were doing, you were taking pictures, doing gig work. And then I saw you at the Cypher, the Lieutenant Cypher, but you weren't part of it. You were just like documenting or taking pictures at the Cypher.
I was there because one of my artists was there, which is the original Rob Still, MRG
okay.
was there.
Yeah.
He was rapping. So I was there. I mean, I was there obviously to support everybody else, but like I really felt like I felt like I had to be there because I'm like, this dude's like one of my best friends, and when I'm managing him and I'm trying to push him to get his shit out. So I'm like, I had to be there regardless. And then, you know, so I'm like, but if I'm going, I might as well take my camera and, you know, get some shots, even if it's just a couple photos, you know what I'm saying? Send them to the people. Because it's like, you know, and I told Lou, I'm like, I'm going to go out, take some photos. I'll send you whatever I got to, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just if I'm going to take the time to go out, I want to show love to everybody because it's like I had multiple homies that were there. So it's like, you know, I don't want to, you know, if I can take photos and hook people up with some dope shit for some content for them to post, I'm like, cool, I'll just take my camera. You know what I mean?
No, that's helpful.
But the JC's photography, how did that happen? I don't even remember how I think
you posted you were going back into it. No?
I think it. Oh yeah, because I want to get some new setups and stuff. Well, because the bowling stuff kind of, we'll get to that too. But like the bowling stuff had brought me back to wanting to shoot some stuff too, because you know I'm like I could set up my own tripods. I've been doing my own little videos like with my cell phone and stuff, but I'm like I want to set up my nice camera and then you know take some photos of my friends while they're bowling and me and I had a couple people hitting me up to do photos anyway, so I'm like, you know what, fuck it, it's a good side hustle. Like honestly, like it's cool. Like if you do a wedding or anything like that, and on the side it's like you make some cool little money, and you know it could be like a Saturday or a Sunday and make a couple. You know, make a couple.
I mean, if you're not doing shit on the weekend, and might as well do some little gigs, you know, in between.
Right.
And then you always say no to things too. So like,
right.
What kind of camera and gear do you have?
So right now I have the Nikon D500. So it's still
Nikon.
it's a little old. I gotta upgrade it. So I'm like, because right now I'm shooting it's the 4K, but it's like 30 frames per second. Now it's like, dude, these freaking iPhones are coming out with
4K,
60 frames per second,
120s,
120s, and people's got the Sonys and shit. Those alphas are killing the game right now, man. Because
I was about to say, if I don't know if you're gonna upgrade to another Nikon, but Sony, bro.
Sony people killing the Sonys.
We're
man.
Sony, dog. We're Sony gang over here.
Because, dude, like, and I don't know sure which ones those are. I can't really see this far, but
Sony A7 R3 A7C.
Okay, yeah. See, so those are fucking, you know. But as a couple people I know, they have the alphas, and I think they're already shooting like 4K, 120 frames. I'm like, dude, 120 frames in 4K, like it's like real movie like shit, you know. So I'm realizing that as the time goes, we got to upgrade with the time, man, because it's like these phones are trying to keep up with the technology that's going on. If you're falling behind, it's like, fuck, dude. Then pretty soon it gets to a point to where it's like, okay, do we want to hire a photographer, or do we want to just use our cell phone, or we just have a camera, let's just do it ourselves? So I'm like, ugh, you know. And I remember when I first got my camera, it was supposed to be to shoot my. It was kind of hard to say to shoot my own music videos. I mean, I wanted it to be beneficial, but I was kind of thinking I'd hand the camera over to one of my homies, like Joe, and let him shoot, which is ended up happening. Let him shoot, and then I would do the editing. You know what I mean? And then I was never satisfied with my own editing, though. When it came to my music, I realized, like, okay, do I want to be the guy who looks dope and be the front man and shine as an artist? Or do I want to just say, hey, I'm doing the video, I'm doing the editing, be a part of it all, but kind of downplay the artistry that I can have in the music video as the artist, because I want to be the one editing and all that. So that's where I kind of realized, I'm like, okay, I have to kind of pick which are my strengths and which are my weaknesses, and which are the, not weaknesses, but like, if I'm stronger and have a strength in something, then I don't want it to be downplayed because of editing or because of whatever. If there's somebody better, I'd rather just have the budget, pay them, make this shit look a certain way, so if people are watching it, you know, the visuals are dope. I mean, I want dope visuals, and you know, so that's kind of where I wanted to go with photography when I first, you know, got the cameras and stuff, and then ended up being so fun that I ended up just going to some local shows. Like I was going to the Hood at the time. I remember Schmitty's was open, Plan B, all those little times around then. I was taking my camera and I would just shoot people. Like people wouldn't even pay me. I wouldn't be there for money. I'd just be there because I'd just be vibing out. Homies were performing. I take my camera. It was just a hobby to me. And I just started posting people. But as I was doing that, I started actually getting gigs, because then what happened was I'd post somebody, I'd tag them, they'd repost. Next thing you know, somebody,
hey, who took that photo?
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, exactly.
Pictures,
or because I gave them that free photo, they would turn around and book me for a session. Like, oh, you know what? I like those photos. Let's book a session, man. I'm like, cool. So I rocked it for a while, and then I was working for Lifetouch. So so it started just doing me, you know, urban shit just by myself, you know, and then I was able to apply for JCPenney's portraits, which is a form of Lifetouch. I did that for a while, and then I went to the school branch of Lifetouch, you know, where you go like to the schools and you're taking photos of the kids at the schools. I did that for a little bit.
You probably took my photo, bro.
It was stressful, dude. Like I didn't last too long in that shit, because it's a whole different game. Like you have to be. It's like
you have to deal with kids, bro.
Dude, it's different, dude.
You gotta
like
be corporate too.
Yeah, super corporate. The takedowns, the setup, that one wasn't too hard, but it was just like, it was different to what I had been doing, because I was kind of like the run and gun type of guy, right? You grab the camera, run outside, shoot some shit, boom, 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 real like street photography shit. And then this one was kind of like, you gotta be like, you know, by the book. So I had kind of, you know, let it go after Lifetouch. I kind of let it go, and then I had hired Eye of Evan. He's from the Valley Shops, Eye of Evan, and he did man, I don't even remember the first video. Oh, he did I did a remix to the Mass Appeal by Gangstar. And I had hit him up. I'm like, you know what, Evan, can we shoot a video? And I'm like, yeah, cool. He's like, what do you got in mind? I'm like, oh, I already know what I want. I just want something real basic, something real hip hop, blah, 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 blah. So he came down, we locked it in, and years later, man, we've done like shit, man. Over 15, 16, 17 videos, and we keep, and then and so and lately, you know, we've been working a lot more now, because now I'm incorporating them with the bowling stuff. So fast forwarding to the bowling stuff, now I'm, you know, incorporating. So at 10 years, so I skipped the fat fucking step, man. Shit, because we're talking about the music. So when I was 5 years old, I joined a bowling league. So before I ever got into music, I was in bowling. A lot of people don't know that. So from 5 to 20 years old, I was in bowling. And the reason why I stopped bowling is because I had reached a peak with my music to where it became a conflict, to where I had to be somewhere music-wise, but then I had my bowling obligations. So I had the music obligations, and then I had the bowling obligations. So it became a point to where I kind of had to decide, fuck, am I going to miss out on this to go over here? Am I going to go over here and then miss out on this? And, you know, I ended up choosing music at the time, because it was just the drive. It was just and I still have the love for bowling, but, you know, it was just too much, because it's like keeping up with what I was, the grind in music, and then bowling, because I was in the league, like damn near going pro already. Like I was going to freaking Florida. I was going to I got invited to Florida. I was going to freaking state in San Francisco. You know, I was, you know, traveling with bowling, and you know, I had big opportunities. And so I still sit back and think, like, shit, I probably would have already taken off, and what life would have been at that moment. But I think it had to play out to what it was, which led me to now, where, you know, 2 months ago, I decided to just pick up a bowling ball again, right? Like I was just like there, and I was like, you know what, I want to see if, you know, I still got it. I want to see if I could do
like riding a bike.
Yeah. I went out there, dude, and with the house shoes and a house ball, not even my gear, nothing, dude. I just went out there just doing what I do, and boom, I started hitting over 200s. I'm like, I still could do this shit. So then I'm like, you know what? Bought a setup,
Is there a difference from like using your own personal ball versus like the generic ones that they have like at the bowling alleys?
Yeah, because
what is it?
Well, the balls that they have, they're like plastic, like you don't want a plastic ball, you want a nice solid ball, a reactive ball. So it's like, okay, here's the thing, because people ask me right off the top, like, how do you hook the ball, right? There's a lot of different people who try so they either put their 2 fingers in it, right? And they force the ball to spin. Technically, that's not the right way to hook the ball, because if you throw the ball naturally, it will naturally hook on its own. So a lot of these balls too that they're making now, they make them to where the weight is the counterweight inside the ball will let it naturally hook anyways. So I'm not saying that you're gonna get the ball and just, it's like a handshake, okay? So you get your stance right, which is usually like back in the day we were doing the 4 stance. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then throw the ball. And then you throw the ball, you want your shoulders straight, you want your legs straight, you want your posture straight, you want to have a solid ground, right? Because if you're off balance, if you point your shoulders to the gutter, you're going to get a gutter. If your arm's facing towards the gutter, you're going to get a gutter. You're not going to hit the strike. So it's all like your whole body, right? And then it's the speed of the ball that you're releasing. If you throw it too fast, you're going to go right through the pins. If you hit it too soft, you're not going to hit shit. And then it's the fucking wrist and the hand and the whole shit. So it's like,
really technical.
It's real technical, man. And but the thing is like, so if you're trying to get technical with the house ball, which is the plastic balls you're talking about, they can hook. If somebody knows what they're doing, they can make the ball hook. But it's like it's very faint. It's like, it's not really like, if you go and buy a Storm ball, Storm, I'd say that's the best brand. If you go and buy a Storm ball, like the new balls that they're coming out with, the people that the PBAs are using, and you throw that shit, more than likely I could teach somebody how to naturally hook that shit, like probably in a couple hours. And and it's just real basic. It's real basic. But then as you go in it, you start to develop it, the speed, because it's all like physics and shit, dude. It's real crazy. And then it's good exercise too, because you lose 150 calories per game. So.
I've been bowling a couple. I mean, I'm not even good. I could barely get 100, But whenever I go, like the next day, like my back is sore, my forearms, everything, dude, it's a workout, bro. And how often do you do it? Or how often do you do it now? And how often did you do it when you were going to be professional? Every day, every other day?
So when I was a kid, I was going like 3 times a week. They say not to go every day, because it's like, it's kind of like if you're going and playing people can ball every day, but it's like, you want to give your body time to rest, rejuvenate your muscles, because like you said, you do get sore. Like your shoulders will get sore, your arms will get sore, your forearms will get sore. My left leg always gets sore, because that's where I put the weight when I release the ball. I go into my stance, and that's where the weight goes. So my left leg takes all the body weight. You know what I'm saying? So, because some people would put the weight on their back, dude. You don't want to put your weight on your back. You don't want to do that shit. You'll mess yourself up, man. So.
So how often would you practice? Like, what would be the
I would say 3. I would say 3 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week. No more than 4. 4 is like.
How many hours? Or like games or like sessions.
I play by the game, because by the hour you're rushing. You're worried about like the time running out. You want to be fast because your money and wallet's running up with the time. If you play by the game, they can't kick you off the lane because you've already paid the game. Mm. So say you paid for an hour, right, and you're done after the hour. But you paid for 4 to 5 games, and you want to take your time. You want to eat a sandwich. You want to sit down. You want to breathe. You want to take a break. You want to meditate. Like every time I go up and bowl, before I bowl, I'm already visualizing. Before I even throw the ball, before I even do that, I'm visualizing everything I'm doing. I'm visualizing the ball. I'm visualizing myself. I've already thrown the ball. I've already walked up and I've already did all that in my head before I've actually ever even threw the ball. So visualization becomes like one of the biggest keys in this shit, dude, because it's all in your mind. And your peripherals, you got people running around, you got kids screaming, you got people that you feel behind you. You feel it's all around you, right? So you kind of got to block all that out. Block everything around you, and kind of just lock in with you in the lane. And then when you're throwing it, you're not looking at the pins. And that's another thing. A lot of people look at the pins when they throw the ball. You actually end up looking like at the arrows, man. You're only looking like about 60% down the lane, and you just hit that mark, dude. And honestly, when you release it and you just feel that shit, when it's going to hit. And it just, So practice, I do 3-4 times a day. I mean 4 times a day, 3 or 4 times 3 or 4 times a week. I'm there for like 4 hours. That's usually about like 9 to 12 games. Anything more than that kind of gets crazy because then you start to get blisters. Like today I have a little blister because I was going crazy. Yeah, man.
I want to go bowling right now, bro. Inspire me.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
That just sounds dope. So what's the bowling MC? Because let's take it back. So you said you started bowling recently. You want to get back into it, but like, what do you mean by the bowling MC?
Okay, so I wanted to get back into bowling, right? And now I'm back in bowling, but you know, I want to keep music, obviously, because I feel like that mistake I made, you know, when I was 20, I feel like I should have never let go of bowling. Why didn't I keep both? Who said I couldn't do both? Like, why did I have? I mean, obviously, again, it did come to a situation, many situations where I had to choose between one or the other. But now, I want to take hip hop and incorporate it with my bowling, and you know, kind of create this image for myself, right? This MC, rapper / bowler / boom, 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 manager, director, whatever the case is, you know, and kind of form my own type of look in bowling. And then, you know, I want to pick up some sponsors because do they have some dope ass people sponsoring people right now? Like they got Hershey, they got ESPN, Storm, Roto Grip, these different brands that they will sponsor you, pay for your tournaments, endorse you, open up doors, promote you. So what I'm trying to do is like, how can I be different from other bowlers that I see, right? Because I mean, obviously, you know, growing up in the bowling alley, I kind of see people and they're like, they have that look, they have that image, but when you compare them to everybody else, they honestly don't really stand out in a way that's like, why? How are you different? How are you in bowling, and how are you different? What makes you unique? So I'm trying to come up with this whole new persona with hip hop and bowling and tie it in and kind of market that and push that and kind of see where it takes me. And so far I've gotten a couple cool endorsements, man, from, you know, Roto Grip, which is a product of Storm. And right now I've been doing a lot of influence work with them. So I'm always promoting that new ball I got and different balls I got. And then we do collaborated posts and stuff like that. And so I'm back in the league now because in order for me to go into the PBA, like officially, I have to get back in the league, which I'm back in the league now in Morongo. And after 36 games under the USBC, they estimate your actual average. So in the average, they document that shit in their system to where it's like, okay, he's got a freaking 200 or whatever average, right? Once you have that average locked in, I can basically be my own free agent in the PBA and start to go I feel like bowling in Las Vegas today. I'm going to go put myself in a Vegas tournament and compete with, I mean, whoever the hell's in the championships. And
you've been in touch, or you know, the community, like who's like the best ones, the best bowlers in the world?
Yeah,
like you follow all that shit?
All that shit, bro, man.
Who's like the best?
Right now, EJ Tackett. He's killing it, man. He's ridiculous, dude. He's just shitting on everybody. He's super dope. He's super dope. And now they're doing the two-handed bowling. I don't know where that came a few years back.
What do you mean two-handed bowling?
So you know, growing up, it's always, people are always like, you know, you bowl with one hand.
Oh, left and right?
Oh, no, two hands. Like they literally put two hands on a ball and they like throw it like the two hands. It's crazy. It became a thing now because back in the day, dude, it's like if you didn't have your 3 fingers, which is your 2 fingers, your 2 fingers and your thumb, and you didn't use all that, you were frowned upon. Like people were like, oh, he's not really bowling. He's not. They'd look at you like you were kind of like not the real deal, you know? Now it's changed. You don't even need the thumb anymore. You can use your 2 fingers. You can bowl left or right. You can bowl with 2 hands. So they've changed the rules a lot. But now the thing is in USBC, like say I wanted to go enter a tournament. I'm a right-handed bowler. If I decide in the tournament I want to switch to my left hand, that's against the rules. You can't do that. Or if I have a hole in my ball that's a counterweight, every hole in your ball has to be used. So if I'm only bowling with my 2 fingers, but I have a thumb drilled, that's against the rules too. So if you can, but before, like, again, I'm telling you, like, none of that shit would go, man. So like one of my friends that I go with, he's a two-handed bowler now too. And before that, he was just doing his 2 fingers, with the thumb still there, and I'm like, I told him, like, you got to get rid of the thumb. So he bought a new
So
ball.
your ball only has 2 holes then?
No, I bowl with 3 fingers.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see. I do the traditional shit. Like that's because that's how I started. That's how I learned. All my coaches were like, "You're gonna learn to fucking do the right." I mean, so I have that OG mentality for the bowling, right? Because now all these new kids, these new youngs, they're all doing the 2-handed bowling,
experimental shit,
right? But it's like I don't hate on it because it's like if it's proved by the USBC, PBA bowlers are out there doing it.
Yeah, it's like
hey,
shooting free throws as soon as they used to do like granny shots or fucking
right.
Sean Marion.
I'm like, shit, if it works and they can make it happen, then fuck it, dude. So, what I like to do, the free agent shit, kind of where I'm like an independent hip hop rapping bowler type thing.
But how does so for example, you join these individual tournaments, you say Vegas, could be Florida, whatever. And then you win that. Let's say you win that tournament. Do you qualify for other tournaments, or how do you become like the top bowler? Like, what's the process?
You just gotta keep. You just gotta keep competing. And honestly, like as you said, like you win a tournament, and you kind of qualify for the next. It's a qualifying game, right? So if you win at a certain tournament, you qualify for the next phase. You qualify for the next phase, and qualify for the next phase. If you lose, you don't necessarily get kicked out of the whole entire thing. You just
gotta go to the next tournament.
It all ends the tournaments will all end in a big fat portion of money. So at the end of every tournament, there's gonna be like $100,000 or $500,000, whatever the case is. At the end of the tournament, you win the bread, and that's the end of the tournament, and then you jump into another tournament. So it's not like a one and done thing to where you go to a tournament, you lost, oh fuck, I had my chance, and you're done. Like, no, you just go and re-enter other shit and jump
into other tournaments. You have to pay to enter the tournament.
You do have to pay. There's always a registration fee. So, but that's where I'm kind of like trying to get the sponsors too, because it's like if I get a bowling shirt and I'm repping people's logos or businesses or brands or whoever in the bowling world wants to, endorse and sponsor, they'll cover all your fees. They'll fly you out. They'll want you to rock their merch. They'll be like, you know what, dude, I think you're a good fit for whatever bowling gear we have. I want you to just rep our gear. We'll pay. And then these fools are even getting paid just to wear the gear too. So it's like some of these cats are making $15K a month just rocking gear, getting free shit. I'm like, damn, I'll take the $15K. I'll wear your shit. Plus, and on the side, I can incorporate some music. So I'm gonna come up with, I've yet to drop a bowling song, hip hop, rap type thing yet, but that is the next thing coming. So
do it like an EP on. Just
I'm gonna do something like where you're gonna
bro.
hear like pins and shit. You're gonna hear like I'm gonna put bars together that go with bowling. I'm throwing a hip hop bowling tournament. I'm shooting for that in September.
What do you mean by a hip? Like you're gonna have live performances at the bowling alley?
So I'm gonna rent out the whole entire bowling alley. So I'm doing the hip hop therapy. So I don't know if a lot of people don't know, but my mom, she's a psychotherapist. So she works in the mental health field. She has a whole facility, and I got certified, with my hip hop therapy, working in the mental health field and all that stuff. So I would like, on my day job that I do every day is working with, I work with teens. I work with special needs kids. I bring them in the studio. I record their affirmations. I help them like with their speech therapy. I have a hip hop class for with the teens, and we do a lot of stuff too. So we're gonna throw a big hip hop fundraiser type vibe over here at Fantasy, and we're gonna have like some people who are in the industry come down and be a part of it, man. I'm getting my little list together. I got Ronnie King. I got a few. I got a good stack of people who I'm gonna bring, and then I'm gonna also open it up to locals. Any locals who want to just come and be a part of it, just come and take pictures or be in the bowling league. I mean, not league, but like the bowling tournament for the day. We're gonna have so that's gonna be something. I haven't put it out there 100%, but I'm giving you.
It's in the works.
I'm giving you kind of like a what's to come. So I want to do the hip hop bowling EP rap video type shit. Throw that tournament, kind of going for sponsors and kind of having this whole thing, and then not only that, but still tying in my music and all the stuff I've done music wise with it. So when they see the hashtag, they type in the hashtag on Google, whatever, and it's slowly gonna start to the
bowling MC. So you have a good strategy with the hashtags. So let's go back to 2020 or COVID times. I don't know when you started with TikTok, but that's when I started seeing you just pop off on TikTok, bro. You were just like, well, you were on my feed all the time, but how do you like do your own marketing research over time when you jumped into do you like strategize when it comes to creating content, or how do you process the whole thing?
You know what, bro? Honestly, I used to strategize a lot. Like when I first got into TikTok, I was sitting there and I was brainstorming videos and content ideas and okay, what am I gonna do today, or what kind of funny skit I can do. I do a bunch and then put them like as drafts, and then as the next,
You're dropping them every 4
I would
hours
drop them every day or every few hours. You know what I'm saying? And after a certain, I kind of fell off, man, because it gets like, it becomes like you really have to be invested in that, man. Like honestly, like my boy Beast Child, he ended up blowing up. I don't know if you guys seen Beast Child on TikTok. He's the one that's always like taking songs and then like he'll say them like in a real like I was like he would get all like, you know what I'm saying, like so he like oops, I did it again. Like he'll take Britney Spears, like he'll take a song and kind of like do like his funny little voice. I met him when he was at like 400,000. He started just doing that, man, and now he took off. He has millions of followers, but he is the one that told me post once a day. But you got to make the content. You got to think about So this guy was just like super invested in that. You know what I mean? And with Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, with so much social medias, it was kind of hard for me to focus in on just one after time. You know what I'm saying? So when I first got into TikTok, I was, trying to think of like cool things that were going to catch, blah, blah, blah. And then I got to a point to where I'm like, I'm just going to post anything random. And that's kind of where I did see the difference when I was taking the time to create actual content that was going to be something that like on the For You page type shit, like right off the bat. Oh, it's something, blah, 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 blah. Okay, For You page. And then once it's on the For You page, this shit takes off, man. And a lot of the followers from there, they all came from the For You page. Just posting random stuff, man. Just like, I love TikTok, but I feel like the algorithm has definitely changed recently. I don't know if I'm the only one experiencing that, but for whatever reason, dude, like I hit this like weird thing on TikTok to where my account's just like dead. Like it's like
all the videos get the same views, huh?
Like the same. Like I have not been on the For You page. Like I don't know if I'm shadow banned. Is that a thing? Like I hear about people, but like really though, because like I had gotten a few strikes of random things I had posted that that a cuss word or they thought it was this or sexual, whatever the case is, and they flag it, and it did, my account's still there. I don't see anything there, but I think that type of stuff hurts your account from growing. Like I feel like they keep it in some kind of server to where like
has to be super PC
something, bro. Because it's like, why do I have 250,000 followers? I never botted TikTok at all, and my videos are like fucking shadowed. Like every now and then I'll get but it's nowhere near like what I've gotten, because I've had videos that have hit over 1 million. Fucking 500,000 people likes and comments. I've had videos that have went off, you know what I mean? And so I'm just like, right now I'm trying to figure out what's going on with TikTok. How can I fix it? I've reported little issues, trying to figure it out, man. Ever since I started seeing this boost post shit come out where people were like, oh, pay to boost or pay to this and that. I don't know if that's has to do with it or not.
Yeah, so it's like that was the same thing happening with Instagram and all that. Mm-hmm. Once they're like, okay, we need to start making money as a platform, then your posts don't get that much reach. Now you got to pay to even reach your own followers. Dude. That's what's basically what they want to do. So Instagram limits your shit. Twitter limits your shit. But it's like also oversaturation.
Right.
Because, 2 years ago, there's less people creating content. And then so many people like just jumping into getting more confidence, whatever. Now it's like, I don't know, 10x the volume of videos coming into the algorithm, right, and maybe not enough consumers. There's like all kinds of variables, but I think most of it's the pay to play.
I think it's like gonna be pretty much like it's an experiment. So like everything with Twitter, like obviously like they limited you on how much like Twitter feeds that you could like watch. Like everything that is on your feed counts. Like even the stuff that you don't even click on counts as a post. So like I think it's just like a little experiment, like kind of like the check mark, like how you could pay for verification.
Right, that's just crazy.
Like in that month, everybody like literally bought the blue check mark.
Yeah.
Like right. Back then it meant something, but like now it doesn't anymore.
Anyone could just buy it.
And that's what that honestly hurt me a lot too, because it's like it was a hard flex when I was the only one that had it, right? Like, I'm the only motherfucker that had it on every platform, blah, 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 blah. Like, to me, like, at the time, it was like, because I was such a troll, dude. Like, I fucking love social media growing up, trolling on everything, posting shit all the time. So, when you get those verifications, it's kind of like you're acknowledged by, like, these fucking Instagram gods, like, these fucking Facebook gods, like, these people that they think that you're somebody, you're running with it, right? So, I remember waking up one day, dude, seeing that, and I was freaking stoked, and now it's like, dude, I mean, everybody can get it on every platform. Elon Musk kicked that shit off, honestly, dude. When he did Twitter, I knew. I'm like, damn, dude, this guy's going to start a chain reaction with this shit. And it's only a matter of time before all these other social medias are going to be like, why aren't we just letting these people have the fucking blue check? Let's just charge them. Let's make our money. I'm like, he's going to open that door. And sure enough, fucking Zuckerberg jumped right on it. And, you know, in the beginning, I'm like, oh, but now I don't care. It's like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? When life goes on, shit goes on.
Do you think that's gonna last? Like the whole like pay to like be verified thing? Because
honestly, I think so, dude. Because honestly, I'm seeing more and more platforms jump on. Like other platforms that, you know, I have other people like my PRs and shit like that. They be writing me and do like, oh my god, because these guys. Well, here's the thing,
what
right?
What do you mean your PRs? Who's these? What do you mean your PRs?
Like public relation people, like people who do like press.
Oh, people work on that.
People who do like press. Because see, here's the thing, right? Back then, it was like you had to know somebody. You had to know somebody who worked at Instagram. You had to have some kind of a connection who can weasel your way in. You like took the back door in getting the verification, right? You'd break off somebody under the table, and they knew how to put you
in the system to get you
verified.
Someone told me I met somebody
black market.
Yeah, so they're like $10,000 to get you verified on Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
I didn't pay that shit.
I was like, I'm not
I didn't pay that shit. Thankfully.
Well, the other one was like if you had a bunch of articles like mentioning your name or whatever, then that way you're like a public figure. There's publications posting you, and then publications are more legit on the establishment because you know they're trying to weed out the bots and all these kind of people are just.
And that's where I got fucked off because I was doing PR. I put myself in a position to where I can get people, oh, you want to be on Hip Hop Weekly, oh, you want to be on the Source magazine, or you want to be on all hip. I had the plugs to get people all that shit. Oh, you want to get verified? I had the plug. So before Instagram was blasted out, I was making fat cash on the side under the radar, hooking people up from New York, LA. I didn't really do it for people in the Valley, to be honest, but I was doing it for other outside sources. And, you know, dude, like when that shit shut down, I mean, fuck, dude, that shit. I mean, we're talking thousands of dollars. So when I get calls from my buddies, you know, we're all talking the same shit. Like, damn, dude, they really like it shut the whole shit down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, going to the TikTok thing. You know, I want to get back on the content. I'm trying to. And
how was like when you were making those videos? Because I saw you did like some drive-through ones that were going viral. And
dude, those were.
So all that like was that like translating to you getting more streams, more numbers? Like, do you see a correlation of getting views?
No, that's the thing too. Is like, I would think like you would think right, like, okay, these people from TikTok who are popping off on his TikTok are gonna transfer over to Instagram or transfer over to Spotify or transfer over to YouTube. But like the truth is, these people didn't see me as an artist. They see me as a comedian or funny TikToker. So it's like I had an audience for that, but it never transitioned to music. It never. They didn't. I guess it's like they never followed me for music in the first place. They followed me because they see me doing some stupid shit, and I probably made them feel good. And they're like, you know what, this guy's funny. He's fat. He's funny. Let's follow his ass. You know what I'm saying? But it was never like, oh, let's go follow him because we heard something crazy and we're gonna go. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's been a few, but not like the overall impact that I've wanted. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with Instagram. Man. I mean, right now, dude, I've gotten before I was going live last year. I was going live every night. I was doing these talent shows live on Instagram. I was telling people, hey, every Friday night you guys can come on my Instagram. We're gonna do these, you know, freestyles. You guys spit your bars. We do a little rap battles. Whatever the fuck you gonna do. So I was hosting talent shows. And you know, my page was growing crazy. It was going over 100K. It was popping. And you know, I started getting these Indian followers, started getting Brazilian followers, and I let them on. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let them on. Like, you know, fuck it, these people want to come online on live. I'm gonna, you know, accept it. Boom, 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 boom. dudes started whipping out their Johnsons on my
What
live.
the fuck?
Dude, I'm talking about straight Johnsons out, and boom. And then right away, dude, sexual strike from Instagram. Boom. So again, same shit. Not the same shit because I wasn't doing that on TikTok, but the same shit of getting those strikes. I seen a massive drop in my likes and my comments and my story views, and I'm just like, honestly, I had even considered just making a whole new Instagram, but it's like I had already put so much time into this Instagram, followed by E40, George Lopez, like, you know what I mean? All these big people who Nicky Jam, shout out to Nicky Jam, all these people who I've kind of like had come to my page, like, damn, let's start another one. So I'm like, recently, like when the last, like, I want to say the last 3 or 4 months, I've literally just been removing. I removed like probably 100,000 people, 100,000, and I'm still removing because I'm like, I love my Indian followers, but I had to cut them off because it's like, they're not going to hear no music. Again, it's probably like they came because I was live with so-and-so, because for a while I was doing shit with, what do they call it? They call it Bollywood. They have the whole Bollywood thing over there in India.
Like the actors.
Yeah, like the actors and all that. So I'd have a lot of them during that talent show. They'd come. They'd be famous in those countries. So I'd interview them, kind of like what we're doing now. But it'd be me kind of being the angel, and I'm kind of interviewing them. Oh, that's sick.
So it was like Bollywood actors.
Yeah. So I would interview them, but they were from India, so they were popping, dude. Some of these people had like 7, 8 million. So I'd get a fuckload of Indian followers, Pakistan followers. They would all be followed. Boom, 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 boom. But they would only know me because I was interviewing whoever the hell I was interviewing at the time. So, recently, dude, in the last like few months, I've literally removed.
Because they're never engaging with your shit.
Because they don't engage. They don't engage. Like, and then they don't understand hip hop. They don't understand that shit. So it's like, okay, if they're not bowling people, if they're not hip hop people, if they're not in the media, the entertainment, I'm like, I'm fucking removing them. I'm like, fuck it, because this is fucking up my account. Like, how can I ever be on the Explorer page or grow organically the way I want to if Instagram's like only gonna put out my content to like 10% of my followers, but all those followers are from different countries who aren't gonna be relevant to what I'm posting. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, dude. So I had to I'm still actively getting. I was at 156K when I started. I think I'm at 58, 57K right now. So I've been literally removing. And now it's kind of cool because now I'm starting to see story views go up in my story views. I'm starting to see it be more people who are relevant to what I'm posting, not just some random like random names that are like, like the Hebrew names or the freaking Arabic names. And again, like I don't have nothing against them or nothing. It's just that I've realized that I want to have people who are relevant to what I'm posting. Because if I can get all my followers to be relevant to what I'm doing, then that's when I've realized that I can grow the way I want to grow. And that's kind of where it becomes.
So for people that don't know, what you're referring to is that Instagram, what it does is like you'll make a post and it shows it to like a very small percentage. And then based on that engagement, it'll share it to another 20, 30%. And then from there, and then eventually it goes to Explore page. But then it was like your song is getting exposed to these fools that don't even speak the language. They're not even liking it. They're skipping it. Then Instagram is like not showing it to the rest of the followers. So by you removing all these people, you're targeting just the people that actually matter. So
Right. And, there's a way to do it fast. Like I can get a third-party app
to remove
and I could have did it, but I'm like, dude, fuck that. I'm like, I don't want to.
You're already like.
I've already had 3 strikes. Luckily, like, okay, so after a year, your strikes expire. So I have one last strike. It's expiring July 30th, and then, dude, I'm good. Hopefully, I'm good. And then with the removing of the followers and that, hopefully, I can get my freaking page in good standing and move forward. But I just had to filter them out, man. I want to get opportunities to be on Explorer pages. With Instagram only sharing it to people, I'm like, dude, these guys ain't, hip hop. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can grow the social media, man. You know what I mean?
No, but you've been consistent showing. Like right now, I've been seeing a lot of like your bowling MC stuff. And what about Cryptic music? So could we talk about?
Yeah. So
what's Cryptic music?
So Cryptic started back in 2012. It started off as
actually. Let me take a little break.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, yeah, fuck yeah. And I had my producer on board because, we met back in bowling years ago and now he produced my whole freaking album, The Right Path. That's the one I was talking to you guys about where it features all those big names. He did all those beats. And so he's my childhood friend. produced all my music, and now we're back in bowling together. He's the two-handed bowler I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
And so now, you know, we're doing all this stuff together, and you know, going back to the crypt, like what he was saying about the Cryptic. So Cryptic Brain music came later. It was Cryptic first. It started off as kind of, so after I left Too Toxic group, I decided that I wanted to form my own label, right? I wanted to form my own shit that was mine. Cause I basically damn near got kicked off the label back then. You know what I'm saying? We're cool now. Shout out to Toxic. But back then I straight up got kicked off the label. Like there's no sugarcoating the shit. I'm gonna be real. I got kicked off the label. I was upset, dude. Like I was like, dude, how the fuck is this guy gonna kick me off the label when I'm like, we're supposed to be family. Like I'm repping his shit and he kicked me off. I'm like, whatever.
Well, why was the reason they kicked you off? I mean,
no. I could.
Were you trolling?
I was trolling hard on social media, but I was really like dark and demonic with my music. My music had took a real dark persona. Like it was like real like. It was like some evil, crazy shit, dude. Like during the time, like it was like, obviously when with webcam days and I first recorded with Infinite, I was all real hip hop. But I had went through a phase, like a spiritual phase in my life, and it was transitioning into my music. So like I was putting a lot of dark, demonic lyrics out, crazy stuff, and people were reaching out to him like, yo, what the hell is this fool on? Like, what is he talking about? Why is he doing this shit? Like people really didn't like it, bro. Like a lot of people, like, you know, when I say older cats in the valley, like people who I respect, they just didn't want to fuck with me. They're like, dude, we don't want to fuck with this fool. Like, I don't know what he's on. He's tripping. You know, like the whole Illuminati shit was coming out, and there was all kinds of conspiracy shits with my music and a bunch of stuff, bro. And so Toxic had got wind of it because a lot of people that he respected were telling him like, dude, what's up with this? What's up with your artist, bro? Like he's going off. And then I put crazy shit on Facebook and social media. So he's like, he had to let me go. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? But during that time, I was pissed. So that's what I was like, you know what? I want to start my own label. Ain't nobody going to kick me out of my own shit because it's my shit. I told my homies who I had grown up with, they just so happened to rap because, again, this was Joe, Peanut, and all of them. We had already been freestyling at the parties he was talking about. And so I'm like, you know what? Let's start our own shit. I'm like, you guys down? Peanut and Joe were the first ones that jumped in. And, you know, it started as a rap group. And then it kind of, at the time, I was still twisted. So it kind of became like a religion, like its own religion type shit. And then, you know, we ran with it for years, and it kind of just became a part of me. And then last year, I decided to make it an actual LLC to where I was going to take the Cryptic Rain music. Rain comes from my daughter's middle name because her name is Athena Rain Fajardo. So I took the Rain, I took Cryptic, spell Rain like power, R-E-I, you know what I'm saying? So I took the Cryptic and I Rain and then I added the music and I made it official LLC. So these cats that I've, you know, working with now that under my label, they've been in Cryptic since the jump back in 2012. But now I've been able to manage new artists. Like I got, you know, Fifth Son, I don't know if you guys heard of the Fifth Son, but back in the, you know, Trucha, I got Coyote, you know, I got Jag Chingon. I got a few other people in the valley who have hit me up on the side. It's kind of like I'm always open to bring new people on too, but at the same time, I also want to establish a relationship with people, kind of get to know who they are as well, because it's like, to me, it's like, it's deeper than just music, bro. We have to vibe together, be on the same page. What is it that you want? Understand me. Like, because otherwise it's like, it's going to fall apart, dude, because I've seen it happen so many times where you meet somebody, you're cool with them, they vibe with you, you guys are both on the same, but when it comes to business and what you guys are trying to do with your music, you know, it's different when they start to get to see and know and feel. So when I bring people on, it usually starts off with me just, hey, come to my studio, let's work, let's collaborate, let's get to know each other, let's you know what I'm saying? And as time goes on, I already know if they were going to be a good fit or not. And they'll know that themselves too. You know what I mean? And
so like, for your artists, so when it comes to somebody that's part of your label, like you produce all their music, the music videos, how does that work?
So we have, thankfully, man, we have in-house everything right now. So we have Evan, he's an in-house video guy. We have an in-house journalist who works for Genius. He writes all our bios, anything we need, that's articles, whatever, he'll write all our shit. Producer, Bevel Beats, he's our in-house producer. He just pumps beats all day. He just sent me like fucking 10 beats before. He just bakes beats all day, dude.
That's hard.
So, you know, none of us ever have to worry about having original beats because he pumps them out. I kind of just oversee everybody's plan, right? Their plan and their what's their angle? How do you want to market yourself? What is it? What are your goals? Or if they want to talk to somebody in the industry, they usually have me do the negotiation, lay out the contracts, lay out the whatever the case. Like for Albie, you know, he just got a West Side Boogie feature. So I don't know if you guys know what West Side Boogie is, but he's with Eminem under Shady Records. And so we're excited about that. So, you know, that's the next big collab that we're doing. It's for Albie, and he had me do like the whole manager thing, hit up Boogie, call him on the phone, kind of do the whole layout. And so, you know, that's what we're working on right now. And, you know, thankfully we have everybody doing in-house stuff right now too. So, but I still like to work with other people, like, and so do they. And I tell them, like, don't feel like just because you're under my label or we're a team, like you can't, because I know some of these labels are weird, dude. Like they don't want you to collaborate with anybody, or like if I have an issue with somebody, I'm not going to tell them, oh, you can't work with them because I have an issue with them. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that type of shit because I've been there where I've been cool with somebody and so-and-so wasn't cool with somebody and I couldn't work with them and it made it weird between us because they weren't cool. And that's like, I would never want to do that to somebody to where my own issues like block whatever type of blessing that they could be receiving from whoever they're working with.
Yeah, because it only benefits you, you know. They do some cool project and maybe even if that project doesn't take off that they do with somebody else, when they go do another project for you, that's another rep for them. Like they already got that fucking, you know, different styles.
And I want to encourage them to collaborate with people. Like collaborations are dope, man. Whether it's local, whether it's reaching out to people from different states or cities or somebody big, just network. Network is key, man. It's like network with people, you know. And I always tell them, like, look, man, you know, do what you got. And that's kind of why I started that recently, that CV support chat. Because I'm like, you know, well, it was started as an engagement group. So I don't know if people have really been in engagement groups, but those started back when the verifications kind of first rolled out. So when the verifications first rolled out, I don't know how it first rolled out, probably like around when I would say about 2017, 16, around there. Yeah,
like 16.
They would do these groups, kind of like the group we have, but it'd only be allowed to be verified people only. So in order for you to be in those groups, you'd have to be verified. So that's where the engagement group started. So what we would do is, Instagram, don't be hating on me. But what we would do is we would go and like each other's posts, engage with each other's content. If so-and-so drops someone's a post, we'd go and comment, like, share, and then it would trick the algorithm into, you know, boosting their shit.
Like people are engaging with this
right,
post.
Right.
So those, I was part of engagement groups back in like 2015.
Okay.
So they weren't verified. So it would. I used to create content more movie related.
Okay.
Like movie reviews. I used to like. I have a movie collection. I'll show it to you after. But I was into the movies before I was doing anything with music or anything like that. And I had engagement groups with that too. So like someone would make a post. Everyone go comment,
so you know the get down there for sure.
So I know what the engagement groups are. I mean, that's another level over there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I was in these verified ones, and then obviously, you know, so I'm like, we don't have an engagement group. Well, that I know of. If there is one, I'm sure it's not in it. But I'm like, I don't think there's one for the Valley. So I was like, you know what, we should have one to where it's like you get local support. Yeah, because it's cool. I mean, obviously, it's cool to get people from commenting from different parts of the world and different parts of the nation and blah, 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 blah. But it's also times where you just want people who are from your home. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a product you're pushing or whatever the case is, or something value related, or just, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's like you want to have people from your own community. It doesn't help when they're freaking thousands of miles away, and it's like, okay, it kind of becomes irrelevant sometimes too.
Yeah, because it's like, that's another thing that happens too with like getting those followers from India. Yeah, you have a shitload of followers, but then it's like, are they gonna come to your shows in fucking LA? You know, like type.
And that's a scary thing too, because it's like I don't want people to look at me like, yo, Xpression has fucking 200,000, 300,000 followers, and he does a show, and where the hell are they all at? Because that's the real shit. It's like, and there is artists who have had crazy followings and they go and do a show and dude, nobody. I mean, they can't even get 10 people there because none of the people who they have are relative in the area at all. Not in their nobody
They're not in their proximity.
Yeah, so it's like,
How do you feel overall? Well, you've been in the music game for a long time. Just the overall music scene in the Coachella Valley. Just like, what do you?
I think the Coachella Valley has a dope ass music scene, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think we have a lot of dope artists. And I'm not just saying from hip hop perspective. I'm saying I think we have dope ass bands. We have really good cover bands. People who we have a cool little music city, a cool little vibe. I mean, we have the biggest music festival in the damn world right here in our valley. Like that's already. I mean, now the fact that I think that we should have a local stage and all that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people feel like that. They should have a stage for people who are from the community and stuff like that too. I do feel like that, but I think the scene's cool. I do think that a lot of people like to stick to themselves though too at the same time. So where there is talent and where I do see that it has so much potential, I also see where we lack a big, because everybody likes to stick to their own, comfort zone. So-and-so is this group. Oh, we don't want to, we don't want to go outside. We rather just collab with ourselves because we're the best. And it's okay to feel like you're the best because it's like, if you don't feel like you're the best, why the fuck are you doing it? You know what I'm saying? We should all feel like we're killing it. Our team is killing it. Yeah, we don't want to tell people that. We don't want to, because people are sensitive. Let's just be real. Like artists are sensitive, bro. They hear you say something, or you don't show them love, or you didn't share their post, or you didn't comment on it, but you seen it. They're gonna feel like you don't fuck with them, or oh, he thinks I'm da-da-da, so fuck that fool. Or whatever the case is. But it's like, I don't think it's that. I think people just, for one, they want to rise up with the people that they grew up with or in their circle. Or they just feel like they're the best and they don't need to work with anybody because they feel like what they're bringing is enough to get them to where they want to go. And I get all that too. But I feel like if we were just to connect more, collaborate more, and push each other more as a unit instead of everybody being their own unit, I feel like we can just create our whole own shit. It's kind of like you look in LA and a lot of these artists out there, they support each other too, like the Cypher Effect and all these people. They all come together. They all push each other's stuff. So-and-so drops so-and-so. They collaborate with each other. That's why you see a lot of these Mexican rappers in this trap world. They blowing up because they feature each other on there. One starts popping, and what does he do? He gets the next one, features him on his shit. Another boom, boom, boom. And next thing you know, that guy has 1 million hits. This guy has 1 million hits. They start to share that shit. I don't see that out here. I don't see somebody trying to start something that's going to, other than you, because honestly, like this shit's like dope. Like I see what you do for the Valley of Desert Underground, bringing it up. But I'm talking about, I'm more talking about like
people,
the artists themselves. I'm talking about.
It's because here, bro, there's no incentive to go forward, man. There's no set destination. Everybody here just creates music, but it's a crabs in the barrel mentality where it's like, oh, this person has this gig, like, I don't know, anywhere out of town, and it's like they feel attacked because it's like they didn't get it, but somebody else got the spot. It happens all the time. The same thing with videos. It's like we'll have somebody here at the show. And it's like, if we don't invite them, they start, saying like, oh, when can I come to the show? Or when are you going to do a music video?
They think you're being biased, right? They think that you're hating on them. They think that you're overlooking them. Or, oh, I'm out here. You're a hater. Dude, it's none of that. And a lot of times people don't take initiative to stop and say, well, did you ever reach out? Because a lot of it, we can sit and blame people for not reaching out to us. But did we ever reach out? Did we ever try? Did we ever ask? A lot of times people just fucking want to be handed the shit. They don't even want to take the time to even be like, yo, can I be on your... I mean, like...
To be honest, that's what it is. It's making a connection. A lot of times it's in real life. Like, you see somebody at the Cypher at a show. You talk to them in person. You end up like doing a collab there. But on social media, like you're saying, like, they'll post their song. But we're scrolling fucking 1,000 times a day. Sometimes... Not that we drive and look at our phone sometimes,
Right, yeah.
Or like at work, like sometimes at work, I'm like, oh shit, someone posted. You don't have time to engage. You might not even see the post.
Right.
And like, I always tell people, like, if you want me to see or hear your song, message me, tag me, and I'll whenever I have some time, I'll go back and I'll listen to it. Like if I, but sometimes it's like I can't even listen to your song because I might not even see it, or I see it once, but then I forget because then there's like 1,000 other things happening. Right. And then for the shows, a lot of the shows, people have reached out, and then I end up having them either, a few months later, but like because they're reaching out, they're putting themselves in the radar, or they see me at one of the shows that we're doing. They talk to me in person. Hey, how can we get in the show? Like they're being proactive,
right?
And everyone, because everyone thinks they're badass, that we're gonna go reach out to every single artist,
right,
And
right.
There are some artists that are like working. I always appreciate someone that's like posting, dropping new songs, dropping new videos. Even if the visuals aren't like Hollywood level production or whatever. But I'm like, okay, they're trying. And that's better than all these people that don't even post, that don't even engage, that they think they're too cool to even be part of the community.
Right.
So it's just like
they separate themselves, man. Like too, because it's like they separate themselves to talk shit, and then they want people to just be like the same people they talk shit about. They want them to open their doors and be like, "Hey, come over!" Like you didn't just say all this and that. So it's like I've seen so many different situations, man, and like you were saying too, though, like reach out, be proactive, man. I mean, like but a lot of these people too, like some of them don't come around until they see something that you have that they want too, and that's another piece to it too. Is like, I've seen situations where people only want to support or then show love when they see somebody in a position that can better themselves. Then they will play that whole, "Oh, I fuck with you, bro. I like you. Like let's collab." Then they will jump on and kind of be in that because they see where you're going, and they're like, "Yo, I want to be a part of that." So I've seen situations, and it's just, I mean,
can you get the mic a little closer?
Oh yeah, am I a little far?
Yeah,
right there?
Yeah.
We back. All right,
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
No, it is.
Is this swinging? How do we lock this right here?
It's kind of messed up a little bit. It's cool, just right there. No, it was way too far back. Oh, it's moving.
Yeah, I think.
Oh shit! See if you can fix it. But yeah, bro. It's. Everyone's selfish. We're humans. We're fucking apes. We.
You're right, bro. You're right.
We're fucking apes. So it's we're looking for our first. This our first our self-interest, but everyone looks at it as competition or subconsciously competition. I don't know what it is, but I think they don't realize like the internet is so big. Yeah, the negatives is you're reaching audiences that might not go to your shows, but you are also reaching people that might become fans the more you post, the more you collab. Yeah. Someone does a collab with you, now they're exposed to the people they're going to see that song. And they collab with this guy from LA, now like, oh shit, their pocket of people are going to see you. And it's like for the Mexican artists, so I follow more like the Mexican, like the corridos, all the shit that's popping off. They're literally collabing. Look at all the albums they drop. It's literally collab. Every single that they do is a collab. It's never like just the artists themselves because they're hopping, like you said, like their fan bases together. Maybe they make a cool song, and now they both could play that song live. So the Mexicans, like that's where they're on top of the fucking industry right now because they're so smart. Like you go to a live show, they're playing all these collab songs, but they're all famous songs. And now their show's even better live, and then people become more fans of these people. And there's no competition because there's like 7 billion people that could stream your music, that could watch your music videos. But for some reason, like they're scared of collabing. I don't know.
I feel like also though too, like maybe and I'm just thinking from the MC perspective, right? Like there's always that intimidation of a feature too. It's like I think some people do feel like they have to be the one on the track that shines. And we should feel like that. As rappers, we do feel competitive. We do want to have the best verse on records. We want to, especially if it's your song, you want to shine harder. So I think sometimes too, I've run across situations where cats don't want to feature people. And I feel like it's because homie got down and they didn't want to release a song, or they rewrote their verse, or whatever the case is. So like, I don't give a fuck, dude. If I work with somebody and they put a better verse than me, then I'm giving hats off to that guy, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to do the best I can on any beat I'm on, and I'm going to try to do what I can do. And if you can do it better, then salute, man. And that just makes a better song. And, I think if people can put the ego to the side and we can come together, it's all a competition. Like you said, subliminally competition. But like if we were to put all of us together and push the competition outside of the valley, then the valley is its own unit of competition.
Yeah.
All of us working together, like, damn, look at those motherfuckers in Coachella Valley, man. They're a fucking crazy ass team. They got like 100 cat. All these pools are pushing each other. They got their own shit. Like, hey, man, can we fly in and go fuck with you guys? Because you guys got your whole own shit over there. Like, I feel like all of us can be part of that big push that's competing with people in bigger areas who are getting their fucking
becoming a music city.
Yeah.
So the Coachella Valley is a city, you know. It's they break it down into cities, but now like the whole valley is a city. We're 400,000 people, you know, give and take the seasons and shit. But yeah, I feel like that too, because like, I mean, before the 90s or whatever, Compton wasn't known for fucking music like that. They fucking blew up with a few, you know, the NWA movement, all that. Boom, now they're like, oh shit, rappers from that area. You have
and they put each other on, dude. Like, that's the thing. Like, these fools, like,
that's exactly.
Like, they put each other on. You be Kendrick Lamar, like they push each other out.
They
like,
share their resources.
Yeah. So it's like, if we had that, if we can make that and have our own little shit, pretty soon we can have it to where, oh, whoever's the next man, we push each other, man. And one of us, I think if we did that, dude, somebody's gonna pop, and then it's gonna start a chain reaction. We gotta get somebody to pop, start a chain reaction, pop the next one, get them to collab, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, the whole valley's on. We're all doing our shit. We all come together and just shine together because. But again, I'm living in a world to where I would love to see that happen, hope it would happen, but I have my doubts of it ever happening because of the fact that so many years I've been in it, seen it. I feel like people have attempted to try it, and then somehow, some way, it's not too long before people just don't want to be a part of it, or their ego comes back, or they want to go back to that same, well, this is why we don't want to do this, because this guy said this, or this guy's doing that, so, you know, fuck them, I'm just going to do what I do because they did that. And it goes right back to, we take 10 steps back again. And unfortunately, there's a good portion that still get it, but there's also a good portion that don't want to be involved in it.
Most people are not, they don't see the vision. I think most people are just in their box, like you said. Everyone's got the little group of like, you know, they got their own producers.
They want their thing to be the one thing to blow up, so they can say, "Fuck everybody, I was the one that made it."
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that's what it boils down to. It's the pride, dude. They just want to be the ones to say that they're the only one. And again, like, I don't even hate them for thinking that, because it's like, I get it. I get why they would feel that way, because I felt like that at points in my life. I felt like, damn, I would love to be that motherfucker. Like, who wouldn't want to be that guy? But then as I'm getting older and realizing, like, it could be done a whole different way. Like, it's, you know.
Who do you think is the most, how do you view talent? Do you think it's talent or marketing?
I look at it both. I like to look at people as, first, I like to dissect what they're, you know, aside from hip hop, right? Because it's like being in the managing people now, it's like knowing what these labels want, right? It's like, do they want the homie who can spit crazy metaphors and rap, or do they want the homie with the banger for the ladies? They want that, or like somebody with the marketable image who's going to sell records. They'll go for that guy. And so being into that management, I kind of have to understand that so-and-so is marketable, so-and-so is not. I may bump so-and-so in my car, but so-and-so is going to bring the bag. Who am I going to fuck with? You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to fuck with them both, but I'm just saying that I kind of have to judge off of that basis. Like, so when I look at artists, I'm like, damn, so-and-so could be successful. And the reason why I think that is because they do this, and that, the other. I can see them going far. So when I look at artists now, that's kind of how I look at them. Like, I'm not judging them so much on like, oh, your lyrics were really basic, or, oh, this is, now I'm kind of looking at the whole package, right? I'm looking at how their performance is. I'm looking if, you know, how dedicated, what's their social media content looking like what's their overall gimmick, what's their image, what's their push, like, how are they putting, like, you know, what are they, and, you know, I always take somebody and be like, if this person was in a fucking 100,000 people crowd, what would it look like? What would it be? If they can rock like this and they're rocking like that, what would it be? What would it be? You know, and so that's kind of how I look at it.
Who's like the artist that you say is like the most talented in the valley that you've seen?
We're talking. Does it have to be a specific category music, or
Or just
hip hop, or
it doesn't matter. Just who you think is like the dopest people you've seen from this fucking piece of land.
I like Mills. I like Mills. I'm gonna go through each category because there's a few people, but I like Mills because I feel like he has a lot of energy on stage. He clearly could perform for a long ass time. He believes and he's confident in himself. Also humble though, real nice and cool, with down to earth person. I told him, dude, and I told him on the side, I had wrote him, and I had told him, like, you know what, dude, like I like what you're doing, bro. I see you, because I do. Like, I see him out here, like when he did that show, like I was telling you, but like the one when he had film, like it looked like a damn near mini little Coachella. Like he looked like he was like a Kanye West up there. You know what I'm saying? Like really though. Like so, I'm like, you know what? I like his image that he has. I like how he believes in. I see potential in him. I can see him going somewhere with what he's pushing. So I give credit to him. You know, as far as talent goes, I think Einstein and Adrian Crush have been doing their thing for a long ass time. Those cats are always killing casinos. Einstein's a crazy ass producer.
Dude, his fucking music.
Dude, those guys are talented, bro. Beast, like, bro. Yvonne Trey puts it down when he's performing. I've seen him perform live a lot of times, and that fucker could perform, bro. Like, I see him, like, this guy could do, like, some big-time venues, like, with a cool, but, like, he's, like, you know what I'm saying? I see him doing big shit. You know, I see people out of, like, Palm Springs area that are dropping their, like, it's kind of like that, what would you call it, like, trap music or trap hip-hop music, but I see them doing well in that lane too. So it's like, it's not my preference because I don't listen to that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm also kind of big on the message, right? Like, what are you putting in your lyrics? What are you saying in your lyrics? Are you gangbanging on the track? Are you writing music? Is it creative, or are you just talking shit? Like, I dissect the fuck out of shit when I listen to shit. So I won't hear it, but I also see the people that like that shit will show love and support that shit. And they will. And so, you know, there's people, like I said,
that's the one that has the most support, is that gangster shit.
Yeah, dude. It's like, and I get it. Like,
I don't fuck with that shit.
I get it though. Like, you know, there's a market for it. There's a market for it. It's very small to me because I'm looking at things at a bigger scale. Like, if you were to put somebody in a room of people with all ages, who has the music that's going to be universal and relevant to everybody? If there's an old woman who's going to perform and not offend somebody in the room, who's going to be able to be appreciated by people who don't even appreciate rap? Is somebody who hears rap going to be like, oh, that's why I don't fuck with rap, or like, oh, that was pretty good, oh, I don't listen to rap but I like your music? Like, that's the type of shit I look for. And, you know, I want to see also people from not just being rap, but also just overall well-rounded recording artists and artists. Try different sounds, try different cadences, different pockets, different beats. Try to do different shit that just makes you overall like artistic, you know what I mean? And that's how I look at artists when I try to see, like, okay, so-and-so's got it. But again, like, everybody also has their talent in their realm. That's why I say, like, people in Palm Springs, like, they pop off for that category. There's the R&B category that we got, and so-and-so and such and such. So, I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that I've seen that, you know, have mad potential and stuff like that. But as far as, like, the rap and shows out here in the Valley, I've seen Mills doing this thing for sure. And when he really got on my radar was when he did the All In Cypher that we were talking about earlier. That's when I seen him in a different light, because it's like, I feel like I might have slept on him or overlooked him or I don't know what the fuck, but in that cypher, I felt like he bodied that shit, bro. Like, straight up, like, I'm gonna be real, like, I'm gonna say it. Like, I felt like he bodied everybody on the cypher. Like, everybody got down, everybody killed it, but why did he stand out the most? To me, he stood out the most. From delivery to fucking time to let people react to his shit. He had the most hype. And he was like the underdog to me, because it's like, I'm like, when I first seen him, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, and then he rapped. But see, I had met Mills years ago. That's what's crazy. Like, I had met him years ago, back when those freestyle, like, so I had met him through Sam, because Sam's my boy too, Samurai Sam. And, you know, I had met Mills, but he wasn't, I don't think if he was rapping, I didn't hear him rap back then. So, on the cipher, dude, that's kind of when when I first was like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to this guy. He fucking killed it. Like he got down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And then I started seeing him do the shows and doing this and that. So I'm like, cool, man. You know, I fuck with him. I fuck with him for sure.
Yeah, that is super talented. Like straight out the gate, he hadn't even dropped no songs when he did the cipher. That was like before his first song came out.
And see me, like I'm a hip hop head, dog. So like from the 16 bar challenge that Lieutenant sparked, like everybody do the 16 bars, jump in, you know, come to the cipher, blah, 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 blah. He was already determined. I think he did like 3 or 4. He just kept submitting his shit. Like he kept doing new ones and new ones and new ones. I'm like, you know what? This guy's hungry for it. He deserves to be in the cipher anyway. Like, and then I think that hunger is what transpired when he went and did the cipher. Like you can just see that he didn't fuck around. He went and took it serious. Like if it was something big and like an opportunity. And I always respect cats who take even the smallest opportunities, bro. If it doesn't matter how many people are there, they treat it like if it's the opportunity that they need for that moment. And that's kind of how I see him in those videos, bro, that you guys be posting. It looks like he don't look like he's just, I'm just performing for these Valley cats. He looks like he's trying to perform like if he's at a new fresh crowd with fresh people, and that I like that shit, bro. So to me, like, and if I was a label, like one of these big secs, you know what I'm saying? Like these big executives, I'm looking at, okay, if this was Coachella, right? Or if this is whatever, and these were the crowds, and there was the lighting, and we had the budget to fund this motherfucker, what would it look like? And if it passes, then I think that person is good to excel to wherever they go. And that's just how I view it. Because, you know.
And how would you, let's say you get an artist from scratch, how would you like, what will you do to try to make them blow up as big as possible in your way? How do you blow up an artist? Is it like what kind of marketing do you do, or like it's just, I know it's a lot.
It's tough now, dude, because like so the first thing would be like get your social media popping, right? I'd be like get your social media. I feel like social media presence is fucking important, dude. Like, you know, if I met an artist and they didn't even have social media, like okay, well let's start there. Let's get you on some social media. You know, what's your artist name? What's your goal? What's your Get you some original beats. Let's, you know, and build their image up. But like now with social media taking its turns, like we were saying earlier, it's like it made it hard for social media to kind of be the way now. Because it's like, I mean, you can still push on social media, but it's just like back then I would have been like, okay, let's get you verified. Let's get you the articles. Let's get you the press. Let's get you the features. Let's get you the this, and kind of get them to push themselves to work with, I mean, who's your favorite artist? It's so-and-so. Okay, let's try to see if we can get a quote from them. Let's try to get a cosign after cosign to kind of get you on the map. Let's kind of ride everybody's coattails to get you popping, you know. Or we take all that budget and we put it all in you. You make a fucking hit song or whatever it is, even just a fire-ass song. We drop it on World Star. We drop it here. Put a hella budget. We push your shit, blow your shit out. And, you know, again, get your social media popping, but you know it's getting tough now, man.
Yeah, like World Star don't hit it like it used to.
Yeah, it's like there was a time where, dude, it's like it's getting tough now. So you know, I think I would, depending on the artist and where they fit, would be kind of where I would determine what route we would take. If I had some artist who was kind of like a Chicano, like Mexican rapper, I'd be like, okay, well, you're gonna do some Foods Gone Wild food community type promotion. We're gonna throw your ass on there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get you pushing on, because that's where those people like that type of music. You know what I mean? They listen like the Little Marus and all them type of cats. They're all on that shit. They're all on that shit. Or like if we had someone that's a reggaeton, okay, I'm gonna look at all my reggaeton options and who I got. Because again, I have still to this day, I still have connections that, you know, for like editorial playlisting on Spotify. So that's one of the strongest things that I can get people that I don't hear a lot of people throw out editorials. I'm not sure if you're familiar with editorial.
No,
so editorial. So Spotify has playlistings, right? Like we can be our own curators, we can create our own shit, but like Spotify editorial, those are the ones that are created by Spotify. Like those are the
the ones that says Spotify playlists on
like those are the
stuff
officially created by like Spotify. So, you know, I have connections to get people on, like, you know, if they were wanting to be on Rap Caviar, if they wanted to be on some of the biggest reggaeton playlists on Spotify, like I can get people on editorial to where their shit is charting with people in the world. Like they're the top artists for that category. Like Coyote, we did in the reggaeton one. We gave it a shot. It didn't take off, but he was right there. You know what I'm saying? It didn't take off the way we wanted to, but we're gonna keep pushing and try again. And as far as iTunes and Billboard, I have the plug for that too. I haven't done it for myself because, dude, it's fucking pricey. But if somebody has a budget, or they have somebody who,
what's like a price range that you?
If they bring me $10K, I can get them on the top 100 billboards.
10K.
10K, and I'll get them on iTunes too. So they'll be in the top 100 on iTunes, and they'll be on the top Billboard 100. So and that's for hip hop, R&B. We do country. There's a lot of categories we can do, and with the people I got, we can do it. It's just the budget takes a. I have another guy that we can get you on Snoop Dogg shit, but I mean, you're gonna have to have 20 G's. Like we can hit up Snoop, be like, yo, Snoop, this is what we want, blah 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 blah. Because I have people we fuck with from Death Row Records, and they'll do it. But at the end of the day, it's like it's all.
Is that money? Are they like you're throwing all into this one thing, and then the exposure's there, but if it doesn't take off, then you just wait till 20K.
And that's the big thing about it, dude. It's like nothing in this fucking industry like that is guaranteed. It's all a gamble. So I always tell people, like, make sure that where you're putting your money is where you want it. Make sure that you're still handling all your shit that you need to do, like taking care of all your responsibilities and stuff, dude, because I've been there. Like, I've thrown 50 G's into my own album, and it didn't get to the point of where I wanted it to go. You know what I'm saying? So I've went through it myself to where, you can put a chunk of shit in there, and you maybe instead of putting 50,000 into the album, what if I would have fucking took the 50,000 and went and fucking worked with Alicia Keys or something? Like, I could have did other routes that would have amounted to the same amount of money, but it could have been a different, or I could have just took the 50,000 and put it all into one song and blew it up. There's so many different ways. But see, the thing also now too is that I didn't have the connections that I have now back when I first invested in my album. It's like I had to invest in that album. When
you invested in your album, like marketing strategies, 50,000 into different strategies, you did a little bit or everything, or
I played a lot of it went into the features, a lot of it went into promo, a lot of it went into I did a radio tour. We went around fucking all up and down Southern California. I was at every radio station playing a record with Crooked Eye. And the budget ate up fast, man. And it's like hard copies were bought, and then I did the book. The book was cool. The book had a better turn. The book that I did had a better turnaround than the fucking album. And then we did the Indio song with Dante. That was cool.
Oh yeah, how was that?
That was fun because that was his song. So Dante hit me up and he was like, "Yeah, I got this song called Indio." He goes, "I want a rapper from Indio." I'm like, "Okay, well that's me." I'm like, "That's me." They're like, "Let me hear it." And I heard it, and it's like, different. I don't know if you guys ever heard that.
I heard it. I seen the
So
video,
it's like different because, like, obviously I've always been into the rap shit. But again, going back to what I was saying, like, I don't feel like an artist should box themselves in. Like, an artist should be able to write any topic, whatever it is, and be able to embody that persona or whatever it is, like, and sell that shit. So when he sent it to me, I'm like, okay, the song's about Indio. I get what you do. I'm like, I'm going to write my verse about all the places I love in Indio, all the shit, all the hotspots I go to, all the things that make me appreciate Indio. And, so I threw Boston Kitchen in there, the Swap Meet, Neil's Lounge, all the shit that we, Indio. And we dropped that. And then we had dropped it just as a single. And I told this fool, I'm like, dude, we need a video. It's not going to, people aren't going to see it and appreciate it if they don't see the visuals, dude. I'm like, they need to see the visuals. So then he came down. We went around the whole valley. We went to Neil's. I went and shot the Oriolas, like all the places that represent our home, and we put that out, and that ended up pulling some revenue through the back ends, man.
No, and like that one, I remember everybody was engaged with it because it's like, oh shit, like it's a song.
And it was organic views.
It was organic.
It was all people from the valley. Like everybody who was sharing it and hearing it was, again, going back to like, sometimes you just want the local shit. That shit was the song that took off locally for me. And it was his song, and it's still. And he said there's a book coming out, and they want to put it on some new documentary shit that they're doing. So I'm like, cool. So that was a successful, pocket thing right there. But as far as having the knowledge I have now, when I invested in that album, I think I don't regret it. Like I love the album. I still hear it these days. I'm like, damn, I want to do it a part 2 of this shit. I want to do another part 2. But I think this time I would invest differently. You know what I mean? I think would do things differently. And instead of trying to like spread out all that money across, I'd really zero in on where I want to put the big budget or who I want to work with or what the case is and see who can really help it take off, But then I'm kind of hung up too because it's like, I don't perform anymore. I've never really performed too much. Like you never really seen Xpression on a bunch of flyers. Like I was always like that backyard rapper. Mm-hmm. Like if you heard me, you see me, I was rapping, I was spitting live. Like but I was never ever like on flyers like that. And I feel like I'm at a point to where I don't really want to tour. I don't really care to be signed. I just kind of want to push other artists and be behind the scenes and kind of push them to do that and recruit young talent. If I can get young talent, because these fucking people love young talent, you know what I mean? And if they could progress younger by the time they're 18, 19, 20, 21 and hit those peak years and boom, boom, boom. Like I have a family now. So that's kind of, not to say that I don't have to, like, do my family supports me if I'm at the studio every other day, whatever the case is. But I'm just like, I've realized also that, like, I'll do tracks with people. I'll jump on music shit. I'll keep my pen sharp because I love hip hop and I love creating and I love making music and songs. But I also realized that I'm not going to go 100% the way I need to be, because I need to be on the road. I need to be fucking pushing merch. I need to be away I need to be away from, I need to be gone. I need to be touring. I've had, shit with X-Rated and these cats and from Strange Music. Because I've had opportunities to where I could have been on the road and travel, but it's like, I don't want to, because it's like, I love what I do now. I love being able to work in this big facility with my mom where I'm utilizing hip hop with these kids and these teens, and how I'm able to kind of just be a positive influence in my community where I grew up, how I'm still able to have respect as an MC in the culture. But at the same time, like, I don't want to be that front guy that's like pushing himself. Like I'm on every flyer. Like I'm the one, I want everybody to follow me. Like, I don't give a fuck. I want to be that one that's like looking for the next guy. Oh, that's the guy. I support you. Let's collaborate. I'm always down, blah, 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 blah. But I don't want to take the sacrifices that I know is needed to make it. Cause I've seen the sacrifice you really have to do, like to really like push yourself out there, like as an independent artist, show after show after show after show on the road. Look at Snow the Product. She's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, fuck, dude, like I don't have the energy or the drive to do that anymore. Maybe there was a point in my life, but I would have just said, fuck it. And I'm just down the road with it. But I'm kind of cool with like sitting back, handling the paperwork, making the phone calls, plugging in. I'll fly out for a week if we're somewhere cool, but I don't want to be away from home for like 4 or 5 months. I really don't.
Well, you got so much experience. You have so much experience, so much just knowledge, and all these years that you've been doing it. And you're like, oh shit, I feel like you're seeing the potential of, like you said, working with this artist and either managing that artist, producing stuff for this artist, developing this artist. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's cool that you have, like, especially like you said, you have connections, so you have everything going. So for your label, I always was curious about this. So like, for example, like one of your artists pops off and another label reaches out. Is that like you would sell like the contract, or how does that work? To be honest, I don't know.
Honestly, they would pretty much just give me fucking 20% and we just call it a day. You know what I'm saying? They'd still probably have. I had this conversation with Coyote because we had some shit going on with Ronnie King, and he had an opportunity coming up where he was gonna have maybe a deal with Universal and stuff like that. We kind of talked about it. I'm like, Coyote, like, you get these opportunities, and or any opportunities that arise while we're together. I mean, this is what I want. If they sign you for a $500,000, whatever the case is, just give me I'll take my 20, do your thing, and it ain't no hard feelings. I want you to push. I want you to excel. He's still going to come fuck with me regardless because I'm still managing his social media. I'm still plugging him in on other things that he needs. That's the interesting thing, dude, is that I've been in situations where artists are signed to these labels, but yet they weren't verified. These fools weren't getting their fucking articles. These fools weren't getting all the back end press that they needed. Like, dude, we just got I don't want to throw their names out like that's fucked up, but we just did a few artists for Strange Music. I'm like, dude, these guys are fucking with Strange Music and under Tech 9, and none of them are they didn't have their TikTok or none of their shit was. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, they have to hit me up on the back end, and then their label trips out like, yo, how did you pull that off? Oh yeah. They don't want to say, but like sometimes it's those underground plugs that even you would think that even these fools in the label like that, why do they feel the need that they have to go do other shit around the label when they should be getting those opportunities from the label? Like, yeah, they're putting money in their pockets, but they still want that social status. They still want other things that make them look a certain way. Like, they care about that shit, you know? And so there's been situations where, you know, I've had to help out people who are actually still signed to these big labels. And it kind of makes me like kind of be, you know, in a cool position because it's like, I'm able to still be like that freelance guy that can plug you in and help you. If like I can get people at the Grammys, dog. Like I can get people in the Grammys walking the red carpet. Like I can do that for people if they have the budget. And if it's something that they want to do. Because again, like I can do it for myself, but again, I always look at it like,
if I do it, how's it going to benefit
how
me?
If it's going to benefit me if I just got done through saying like I don't even want to tour like that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it could be cool to go to the Grammys, but again, if I want to be that front man, and it's like I'm actively making music, then they should be fucking the ones right there next to DJ Khaled on the red carpet doing the slow motion. What do they call it? The gimbal. What do they the bot? You know, see that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Where they do that slow motion with the camera, like with Cole. All that, bro. I have people that do all that shit, and I could get people in there, dude. I think it's like $6K. You know, it's not even that much. But again, it's like some people will hear and be like, I don't want to. Or they'll hear it and be like, let's do it. So it's like, it really depends on up to the people. I can have a lot of things that I can offer. It's just that it boils down to a budget. And then when people hear the budget, they either want to do it or they don't want to do it because they want it handed to them or they want it free. I'm like, most of these cats don't even want to pay for a beat or a music video, so why the fuck were they gonna want to pay
$6,000 to go to an
event? But
it is
that's how you meet motherfuckers though.
Because they don't see it as like an investment in themselves because that's gonna lead you to collaborations, gonna lead you to this, even the exposure on social media, being in those places. I've heard of like No Jumper too. They charge like $5K to get on.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, and just the other day, I had an opportunity for $1,000, and I threw it out there. Nobody bit, but I had an opportunity, and I threw it out there all over social media real quick. And I threw it on my Facebook, and I took it down because but I told them like, if y'all want your music played at the fucking NBA Finals, let me know, and I'll get your music played during the fucking game with video proof and everything. Like, one of my fucking plugs was right there running the shit with the DJ of the fucking NBA Finals.
That's
where they were having people and like. One of my artists that I sent over there, he was like from fucking, I think, where the fuck was he from? Like West Virginia or whatever it was. And he jumped on that, dude. But like, I thought that I threw it out locally, right? To kind of like see if anybody in the area would want to jump. Nobody jumped. So I'm like, oh, you know. And again, I get it. People, you know, have their own money or don't have the money to invest or they don't believe it or I don't know. But I've kind of always kept my positions of what I can do for people who hit me up on the side or people outside of the Valley. And I did that for years because I didn't want people to I don't want people to be in the same position I was in to where they can start doing things and there's just a bunch of people who are doing that because then it makes me irrelevant. So for years, I didn't tell locals what I can do. I didn't to offer this shit. I never boom until recently to where I'm like, fuck it, dude, I can do this, I can do that. Let me know.
A lot of times it's just reaching out to more people and having the awareness. Like people don't even know. Like this might be the first time some people are hearing about these. A lot of people think like you have to be invited to these shows and a lot of times it's like no,
motherfuckers want money, bro.
People need to eat.
Money.
They need to have fucking cash flow coming in. So all these big podcasts, you know, like most of them have a price, you know, like you could, whatever podcast, whatever networking, like even radio shows, like Spotify playlists, it's a pay to play game.
And that's where it gets crazy, dude.
It's pay to play, but you're getting paid, like you said earlier, that you get the exposure. Now it's like the general audience decides whether your shit's good or not.
Right.
But then it's like It's like, is my shit really good fucking for a general audience? Let me fucking test it. Let's shoot some money in there. And then, you know, it's just, like you said, a gamble.
It's a gamble, man. It's a gamble. And you know, I mean, I always tell people, man, you know, if you think the song's worth it, you believe in the song and you think it's, because it's usually, what's crazy is it's like, it's always a song that we think, and then we hear somebody else that's higher up and they choose some other song that we don't even think was the song or and that's the one, you know, and they want you to trust them to run with it, you know. But there's opportunities that come up, and now if I hear about an opportunity, I'm going to throw it out there. If people see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. If they're willing to reach out, I didn't see the point of doing it for myself at the moment. You know what I mean? Because people always ask, well, why didn't you do it for yourself? Well, again, if I would have had the connections I had now, back when I first started, I would have had a whole different approach. And now, like, I don't need to be the front man anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, I'll still rap. If people see me posting rap videos or posting, and that's literally because I just have love for hip hop, love for the culture. I like to keep my pen sharp. I write for the fuck of it. I write a lot of shit that doesn't even come out just because I just like to, like, it's like therapy to me, you know? And, but for the artists who, you know, have the budget and want to invest in themselves, if there's something that I can help them, point them in the right direction or hook them up, you know, I'll definitely do it, because it's like, as you get deep in the game, you start to, like you were saying, you start to realize that there's a price for fucking everything, dude. You want radio campaign? We can do that. You want Spotify campaign? We can do that. You want to be at the Grammys? We can do that. You want your fucking shit on the NBA Finals? We can do that. What do you want to do? You want to go to fucking Sway and Tech? We can do that. What do you want to do? It's like Shade 45. We can get you on there. It's like, it all boils down to how much do you want to spend? How much are you willing to spend? Can you afford it? And so if people have, you know, somebody backing them up with the funds like that, dude, I think that, you know.
Well, that's what these labels do, because the label will give a marketing budget. They're not getting on Sway and like all these like popular platforms just because it's the connection. No, like they're paying, the label's paying, hey, we're gonna get you on this radio show, we're gonna drop an album, you're gonna do this interview, you're gonna do this interview, you're gonna do this interview, you're gonna go on these podcasts, then we're gonna they're paying for the billboards on the freeway, they're paying for fucking ads on Instagram. Somebody's paying for all that shit. It's not just like, you know, and that's what the labels do, is they give you that access. But you could do it independently. It just takes a lot of money.
It takes a lot of fucking money. You have to have like that sponsor, dude. Or you're doing some illegal shit and like
you be your own sponsor.
You're your own sponsor. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how a lot of the people also did come up, is because they were doing illegal shit. They were trapping, they were this and that. And, you know, they were using that money to fund their music. And then they got to a point to where they can just, you know, either live off the music and still do what they're doing, or just let that go and just be successful off music, you know. I feel like Kevin Gates shares a lot of that shit in his music, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like he always drops hints about him slaying and this and that. And now, you know, obviously he's successful. But, and then he's just one of them. You know.
Well, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Pusha T, he still raps about that shit.
Right.
Like, still to this day, you know.
To this day, you know.
And I mean, then you have those people that are getting like fucking RICO charges and shit. And that's
they talk about I did this and that.
Yeah, writing themselves and shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Well, JC, thank you for your time, bro. I
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Learn a lot, and definitely want to connect with you more, bro. Because not a lot of people are doing shit that's like where you need to be, you know. And I appreciate that you trying to help the community and the resources, and I want to, maybe we could do something to just help the whole scene here, because
let's do it.
So I believe in the scene here, bro. I believe that we're gonna be doing some cool shit where like something's gonna pop off.
You're doing it, bro. Like, honestly,
it's gonna happen, bro.
Not only are you believing it, but you're like actually providing the platform for people to do it. Like, Desert Underground is like fucking dope. Like, I'm seeing that. And like, I get what you're saying too about like people probably feel like envious because they see it, they love it, they want to be a part of it, but they don't know how to approach you to be on it, or
just hit me up.
Or they just like, dude, it's like, you
just
know,
send me a message. No.
Yeah, man.
No, but yeah, well, thank you for coming to the podcast. We'll probably your links in the description, and make sure you guys.
Much love to you guys, man. Thank you.